Dana Dunn, Ph.D., is a lecturer and teacher of metaphysics and arcane sciences. She holds her Ph.D. in metaphysics. Her background is also extensive in ancient religions and cultures. For 23 years, she's been a professional intuitive counselor. Using her knowledge in ancient techniques of meditative states, she works primarily with individuals. Her growth center is known as the Source Growth Center, and it offers an array of metaphysical classes and lectures and accommodates individuals from every walk of life. It's a wonderful energy there. We talk about sacred sites. When you walk in her Source Center, there's a power there, and everyone feels uplifted when they walk in. I'm going to taste for that. So here is Dana Dunn.
We're kind of like Alpha and Omega. She's very
Excited.
Sexy, low voice, very feminine, and I come on, hi, I'm Dana. Very yang energy.
No.
But anyways, thank you all for welcoming me. And I have so much information I want to give to you today because it's a very exciting time to be here on planet Earth. We have a lot of phenomenal energies happening, a lot of progress made between science, religion. If only the politicians could catch up where the rest of us are at,
Yes.
that'd be wonderful. But part of my things that I'd like to cover today, first off, is to say I've traveled a lot of the world. And I've been many places, and one of my most beloved places in all the world is England. If you go to England, you're guaranteed to have some experience. Serena will correct me if I enunciate the English words not appropriately. But I was in Warwick Castle once with my sister, and being a psychic medium, I said to her, hey, you know, you want me to call him up? And she's like, oh, sure, okay, Dana. So I get down near the dungeon, and I call him up, and she takes a photograph. And right as she takes the photograph, and it's been studied by a lot of different people, you see this vortex of energy coming up and spiraling and moving around a corner. And when my sister got her film developed, she goes, oh my God. And she goes, I didn't believe you could really do that. And I said, yeah, energy is everywhere. You know, energy can never be destroyed. So a lot of these crop circles, sacred sites, the symbolisms that are left in these locations, that vibration never deteriorates because it's constant. Everything in the universe is based upon sound, color, and vibration. And so that never changes. And at these sacred sites, some of the symbolism, and even as Serena was pointing out with crop circles, even if some of them were man-made, we have to take into account somewhere subconsciously they channeled that symbol. Some message was coming through to them. That symbol may be for the awakening of humanity, an awareness of a vibration that's going to be happening or moving through. So I love musty old books and hermetic sciences and alchemical sciences, and what I have learned over the years is that many of these ancient sites, you know, they just are learning through the Scotachron that a lot of the hinges, a lot of the ancient sites could have been the byproduct of pharaonic religions moving down through England. So as Serena said a moment ago about pyramidal structures, certainly they would hold that vibration. Modern science today is learning that they used to think that our DNA programmed who we are. What they're learning now through science exploration is that it's cellular, that our cells, and I'm not totally clear on this whole concept. I wish I had more of a scientific mind for biology, but I don't. But they were saying that the cells literally not only communicate to each other, but they change and can help to change the DNA. So perhaps by going to some of these sacred sites, we have the ability to change our cellular structure, which then in turn changes our DNA. And we're told again and again in ancient scriptures, ancient texts, about a light body, becoming a light body, a vehicle of light. In the Kabbalistic text, they speak of the Merkabah, becoming a vehicle or a vessel of light. In Scripture, in the book of John, it speaks about the two natures of the spiritual body, one terrestrial, one celestial, and being reborn again through the living waters. So the interesting thing at these sacred sites and stone hinges, and one I want to mention in particular, because I'm just excited about it, is a place called Stanton Drew, near Avebury. Avebury?
It's near Bath, yes, near Bath.
Near Bath.
Yeah.
And the construction of stone, see, I knew she would correct me. The construction of stone monuments began around 3500 BC, and they continue for a period of almost 2,000 years, according to a gentleman by the name of Gordon Strong. And Stanton Drew means stone town. And during the Middle Ages at Stanton Drew, it was owned by a family called the Drogo. And I found that so fascinating in my research, because Drogo, D-R-O-G-O, is not unlike dragon. And we know that we hear about all of this statement about Draco being the last pole star. And, now we have a different pole star. We have Polaris. And all the talk about the Pendragons, the dragons all throughout England. Well, perhaps this dates back even further than what we think. Perhaps it goes all the way back in my own studies to an original religion that is quite old, called the religion of the stars. And in the Apocrypha, Jesus spoke about the religion of the stars and the constellations. And Stanton Drew, by the way, also how it got the word Drew was this Draco family had the Norman name, Drogo. And Drogo later became an Anglo-Celtic Drew, or Druid. And Druid and Drew were known as sorcerers and magicians, the quest for the Grail, Knights Templar. So Stanton Drew sets on a ley line that's incredibly fascinating in the sense that it aligns with churches in the immediate area. A lot of these churches have backgrounds in Knights Templar work, things of this nature. And we hear so much of that today. And what does that really mean? Who were these mystical people of the past? And I think what we have to do is not look at the individuals or particular names, but look at the revelation of what's being presented in these sites. So all of these sites were very star related. Matter of fact, a wonderful gentleman by the name of Lubix, German fellow, he spoke about the temple in Luxor being the literal layout of the human body. So each room in Luxor is laid out in its stones, in its floor, and in its walls, to every bone in your fingers, your hands, your spine, every part of the human body. And what he noticed was on the reversed mirrors in this temple, because on the reverse walls, it would be cosmic men. So all of these sacred sites, and especially the hinges, because they are so related to the heavens, and now I'm going to go into my passion and my background. How many of you have been to England, or have felt you've had past lives in England? Or yeah, it's interesting because these, all of you who have felt that, if you were to go there, all my life, before I ever made it to England, and I didn't make it there until the last 10 years of my life, I always felt a call for things, and I never really knew why, but I spent time in the Caribbean too, 7 years in the Caribbean, studying with a lot of the medicine men and a lot of the bush doctors over there, studying a lot of the Afro-Caribbean religions. And I always felt drawn to there too, but it wasn't until I got to England that I started having incredible recall of past experiences.